Let's move on. In New York, we had our own unwelcome intruder this week, albeit of a tinier variety.
Breaking news overnight, Ebola in New York. An American doctor who volunteered for Doctors Without Borders in Guinea is in a New York hospital this morning with Ebola.
Yes, much like an actor who considers himself too intellectual for LA, Ebola has moved to New York. Now, the patient in question is Dr. Craig Spencer, who is currently, hopefully, recovering in a hospital here in the city. On Thursday, public health officials tried to calm people down by supplying us with a weirdly detailed rundown of everywhere he'd been, including this.
We know that he went to a place called The Gutter, a bowling alley in Williamsburg in Brooklyn. The patient went there with friends, and he did bowl.
Of course he did. Of course he went to a bowling alley in Williamsburg, because if you're talking about a 33-year-old white New Yorker named Craig, you don't have to tell me he spent a weeknight at a bowling alley in Williamsburg. It is assumed. That is assumed. But maybe the most incredible part of Thursday's Ebola coverage was how quickly things escalated. Watch how his relationship status was described throughout the evening, because it changed a bit towards the end.
He had some sort of physical contact with his girlfriend this morning.
He has a girlfriend, I understand, who's now been quarantined as well.
Dr. Spencer's girlfriend has been isolated now as well.
Girlfriend? His girlfriend.
He has been in close contact with his fiancée.
Mazel tov! OK, two options for what happened there. One, he was engaged all along, or two, he got engaged after being diagnosed with Ebola. And I'm going for the first one, because if you learn one thing from that press conference, America, know this: there is no way an attractive Manhattan doctor is not engaged by 33. You lock that shit down. You lock it down. You lock that shit down. You put a ring on it, and you lock it down. Meanwhile, for the other 8 million people in this city, the advice is pretty obvious. Ebola is not airborne, so there's only one thing we all have to remember.
Now, if you came across some strange mucus or feces or something out there on the subway, the street, or anywhere else, don't eat it.
That's good advice. That is solid advice. Don't eat mystery mucus in the street until this Ebola panic is over, at which point feel free to resume your mucus consumption. And finally, a quick update.